All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy New Year to everyone. Hope everyone had a good New Year's. The Rams played against the Chargers. It was quote unquote the battle for LA, as they called it. You know, um, it's one of the a lot of it seems to be trying to be made a thing. Battle for LA. Rams versus the Chargers. But if I'm being honest, I think it's cool. I know they share a stadium, but it's not like I don't think this is something that's going to materialize into one of the like a great rivalry or like an exciting rivalry per se. I could be wrong on that. It's just kind of how I feel, and a big reason for that is they're AFC and NFC teams, so they only face each other once out of every 4 years. So it's like it's impossible really to get hyped about it if you're only playing the team once out of every 4 years. So not that it's not that it's a bad thing. I still think it's cool. You got the two resident teams going at it. That can be fun. It's just they don't. It'd be different if they played each other every year, but like they don't. So it's not as it's not as intense or anything like that. Like say San Francisco. Like say when we play San Francisco. But I digress. Um, the Rams lost by a final score of 31-10, and quite frankly, the Chargers were just simply the better team yesterday, which is unfortunately par for the course. It was to be expected. I thought we could have won this game, but quite frankly, one, we just couldn't. Our offense couldn't get anything going, and our defense just couldn't tackle to save their lives. You know, basically, you know what? How about this? I'll start with the positives. I will say Cam Akers was a bright spot. He ran for over 100 yards. I thought he ran very, very hard against a Chargers defense that struggled, has struggled against the run. I like Sean's play calling. I think him sticking with the run was a correct decision, and sticking with the run even well into the second half was correct. And it worked in terms of the running game. It worked. It just, sometimes you can do the right thing and still lose. And it was just one of those things here with that. Cam Akers ran very well. Sean called the game, I thought, for the most part, pretty well. But, and I thought there was several, Van Jefferson. I thought Van Jefferson played well in spots. And to be honest with you, that was there was a few plays here or there by some of the other guys, but nothing that really stood out. Otherwise, the entire game was a bit of a dud in terms of performance. But the entire there seemed to be no energy on the Rams. And I don't know if that was a I don't know if that was just a product of them of Staley and the Chargers being able to beat it out of them or whatnot, but there just didn't seem to be a whole lot of energy, and it could be felt because I was going back and forth between this game and the Packer Viking game, and you could just feel the difference in the energy in the crowd, man. It was quite a start. It was quite a difference if you look at it, but it is what it is. We're 5-11 football team. It's just we have a bunch of injuries. We have starters who are not playing. We got a bunch of new guys, a bunch of practice squad guys. We're doing these games right now are more about evaluations than really trying to win the game for people who might be around next year. But kudos to the Chargers. Our offense couldn't do damn near anything, except for running the ball. Baker was very inconsistent. I thought he played hard, but it was just inconsistent. Brandon Staley, unfortunately, as y'all know, he was our defensive coordinator. He knew how our offense ran, and he basically got the better of Sean in this game. And we had trouble. We had trouble with like the delayed blitzes. And the pressure, our line just couldn't hold up. Same old story as before. But I'm not even mad at him. It's just it is what it is. And we were able to move the ball a little bit on the ground. We got a few good throws, but ultimately we could never get anything going consistently. We could never get a rhythm going. And it's just, Brandon's if there's one thing Brandon's good at, it's running a defense. So he just got the better of us on Sunday. And as far as the defensive side is concerned, look, I'm just gonna say it now, man. We need to get a new defensive coordinator. Okay, I don't have anything against Raheem Morris at all. Like as a person, he seems like a nice man. Unfortunately, he's not the person who should be our DC next year. Okay, we got way too much talent on this defense. Now, granted, a lot of them were not playing yesterday. I understand that, but we got too much talent for the defense to be so just the defense to be so subpar, let's say, and it's just it just doesn't there's just no energy. It doesn't look like we know how to tackle. That we give up way too many big plays again with the soft zone coverage stuff all year. Okay, it's just there's no like adjustments. There's no like you can tell there's no like the any type of adjustments throughout the game. When Brandon was our coordinator, you could see the difference in halves when our defense maybe was struggling with something. Then in the second half, Staley would make the adjustments. We'd come out and we'd look really, really good. Okay, I don't see that with the defense. I see us running the same things, okay, and kind of relying on our talent, star power to kind of bail us out more so than scheme. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? It's almost like we're relying on the players to bail us out as opposed to the actual scheme on defense. I know that I'm not explaining it as eloquently as like a coach or an analyst would, but this is just what I'm seeing with my eyes. And I feel like we could do better at the defensive coordinator position because Eckler, running back for the Chargers, ran all over us yesterday. Okay? The guy was a beast. Okay? And we could not stop him at all. Okay? Justin Herbert looked great. He really, the guy has a great arm. He really zipped it in there. And it's just, they just, unfortunately, it was close at half. I think we were down by like one score, but then the Chargers kind of blew the door down and scored a bunch, like 31 unanswered points on us, man. So it is what it is, man. They're a playoff team this year. We have a bunch of injuries. We're struggling a little bit. It is what it is. I'm not mad at anybody. It's just one of those things where, we were depleted with injuries. Our defense needs a new D coordinator. That is one thing that needs to happen this offseason. All right. Our offense, we need to really, really revamp the offensive line. Bring as many offensive linemen as you can in this building. Okay. That should be the goal, is to find the best O lineman, whether it's the draft, free agency, trade, bring them all in. I don't care if you already filled out the position. Like if you already have like a bunch of people at the position, bring them all in, let them all compete in training camp, and then you can cut whoever it is you want to cut. But bring them all in. We got to get the best line possible for Stafford next year. But overall, I mean, it was still an okay game to watch. It was, the Rams just, it is what it is. It's a down year, but Chargers got the better of us, so congrats to them. They're going to the playoffs, and we'll see how they do. And we got one more game, and I'll say this. We can play spoiler to the Seahawks next week. If we beat them, we can keep them from reaching the playoffs. And if we can do that, I will be content. Because if we can play spoiler to a division rival, I will be cackling, okay? I'll be cackling because the Seahawks will be going home with us if we're able to beat them next week. So we'll see how that goes. But that's going to be it for right now. I'll catch you guys on the next one. And as always, go Rams.